Well, that's obvious. And maybe tomorrow's the 13th. Well, that's probably obvious too. But yes, isn't this month just shooting on by? Anyway, welcome to the show. This is the Spiritual Astrology Show. Shortly, I'm going to be joined by my very good friend Guillermo. And we'd like to talk about a subject we're going to introduce this morning. Something that affects us all directly or indirectly. And I think you'll find this perhaps very interesting. Maybe you want to get involved or engaged. And plus the fact we talk about your astrology charts, your readings there, and let's have a good old chat about this. Anyway, first of all, let's play some music and back in a moment. Hello. So here we are. It's the 12th of August, and very good morning to you. And here's a hoot just to let you know the show is live now. That'll get you going, won't it? Okay. Oh, here we go. So no matter what you're doing in your day, that's it. You have permission to stop. Stop, watch the show, and enjoy in the conversation here. I mean, even my good friend Guillermo is saying, "Hey, I'm watching too," which is good. That's always enlivening. And yes, you could just put down your workbooks. You know your workbooks. Oh, yeah, you've got your workbooks here, yeah. And just open it up, put the phone inside, switch it onto Cafe Clairvoyance, and just go around scratching your head, thinking a lot of work to do today, but you're watching a show. I know what you're up to. That's good. Anyway, a few people come out here. Deb says shared. Guys, this is what we'd like you to do, is share the show. Share the show as it goes out live there. Attracts other people to watch it. This is totally free. This is the one request we have. Also, the other request that you sit back, just relax and enjoy it. And so you've probably got your morning coffee, I hope. I hope you got your morning coffee. Yes, here's the morning coffee's here. That's good. And right, okay, let's get you guys just to jog your memories. Hello, right, okay, I'm not going to waste time this morning. I'm going to go straight up to Guillermo because we want to talk about a few subjects with you, which maybe you'll find very interesting and want to get involved with, or just watch and listen and maybe want to throw some of your opinions in. Anyway, let's go straight over down the road to Javier and speak to the lady who lives under the stars. Speak to the lady who is a doctor in psychology. Speak to the lady here who is in tune with your moons. How's that? Does that sound good? Am I promoting her enough? Anyway, here is the wonderful Guillermo. Good morning, Guillermo.
Good morning, Phil. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, in spite of these very intense energies.
It is, isn't it? It's very intense, and a lot of things are happening at the moment, and which we thought would be a very, I think it's probably a good time to talk about this because people are going through such extreme energies. I mean, only a few days ago, on the 8th, we had the Lion's Gate. Sometimes people think it's just one day. Well, the gate's open for a little while. It's as the sun moves across and Sirius is rising. It's all there for a little while. It's not just the moment. And so sometimes we can say extreme things happen, but life things happen, which bring out opinions that can feel extreme. So we wanted to head this morning, and first of all, to announce a very, very good friend of ours, who sadly took his life. And I saw him on Saturday night at a party. His name's Eric Champon. Fabulous guy. He was an author. He's a fitness instructor. Very, very nice man. Very nice man. I saw him on Saturday night. I gave him a hug, shook his hand from a party that we're all at. And the following day, he decided to take his life. So this morning, I would just like to, with Guillermo here, because we both know Eric, we both share experience of Eric, but also for you guys out there who have been involved, witnessed, experienced, or reacted to something where someone's passed over, especially if it's suicide. So we'd just like to dedicate the show this morning to everybody who's watching, to Eric, and also to you people out there, in the names of the people who have taken their lives and for whatever reason they've done it. And yes, so just say here, how, and just talking about suicide here, it's that trying to understand, isn't it, that someone was there hours ago in your life here, and then a few moments later is like, oh my goodness, they're gone.
Yes. And also I'd like to add that Eric was a mental health advocate because he came from a family that had issues with respect to this. So in a way, there's like a hereditary thing about it, no? And not that you inherit, like, I don't believe you even inherit cancer or anything like that. You have genes that might develop in one or other way, but there are stories in the family that perpetuate, and that we do it like unconsciously for a sense of belonging. We belong to a family that has a certain illness, a certain difficulty, a certain mental health issue. So we just perpetuate it. And that kind of happens sometimes. And Eric was an advocate of this, of mental health issues.
Yes.
So I think it's important that we have this conversation. And having said that, you said trying to understand it. The thing is, we try to understand it with our coffee mind, and our coffee mind will never get around, will never get the grips of what happened. No. Because if we think with the coffee mind, we're going to think, oh my God, what did I do? What could I have done? And Absolutely. We always go on this guilt trip. Every single person involved will start thinking about what could I have done, or what did I do to make this happen, or what could I have done to not make this happen? And it is not about that. It is precisely about going over guilt, going to the next level of consciousness. And that's the gift that whenever anybody dies for whatever reason, it doesn't matter if they take their life or not, they always, always, always leave behind a gift. But we live in a culture that's denaturalized death, and death is as natural as birth. Okay. There's nothing wrong about death. There's nothing horrible about death. I know that not everybody thinks like me. I know that not everybody feels like me. And I hope, my intention is not to disturb anybody, but this is my opinion. This is how I see it. And maybe the way I see it might inspire somebody to get a bit of clarity in the way you perceive death. And if you don't get inspired by my words, that's okay too. If you still fear death, that's okay too, because each one of us is different, okay? But I think that the issue here, it's about going through guilt and going to the next level of consciousness is one of the gifts that death brings us. Because as I was saying, with the coffee mind, you can never get around it. You will never understand it. It just won't make any sense, okay? So there's this video by this Spanish girl called Ter, and I believe it's subtitled in English. Okay. And it is absolutely, it's one of the most brilliant and best videos I have ever seen on internet. Okay, it's called "What is a Performance?" I'm going to share it now in the group too. So it's called "What is a Performance?" Okay. So that explains that a performance is, for example, when you identify with one aspect of your personality. So imagine you have several aspects of your personality. Sometimes you are a very happy person. Sometimes you are a very sad person. Sometimes you're a very good worker. Sometimes you're really good with your friends. Sometimes, we all have all these aspects in our personality. Okay, so when you portray a performance, what you're doing is you're identifying, and this is what actors do. You identify with one fragment of your personality. For example, the Joker, the movie with the Joker. You identify with one aspect of the personality, and you don't identify. Sorry, you portray. You take to the extreme one aspect of the personality, and you pretend like everything else doesn't exist. So you can start saying, for example, if you're identify with, or you're starting to not identify. I'll explain that later. If you start to just be that social personality of yours, then you're going to say, I don't understand people who are at home all the time. They're wasting their time. It's all about being out with people. So then I'm being that to the extreme
Yes.
and pretending to exclude everything else. And it's not true. I'm not being dishonest by doing that, but I'm living fully. And this is the key. This is one of the keys. I'm absolutely living and portraying 100% this aspect of my personality. What for? To convey a message.
Yes.
What kind of
Yes.
message? My little personality message, my ego message? No, a channeled message, a collective message.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you do a performance, you're a vehicle for the collective. You are channeling information from the collective, and you are showing the collective that aspect of your personality. So for example, when you hear a love song sung by your favorite artist, so he's talking about how his heart was broken, but maybe he's fine, but just there's a part of his personality who has a broken heart, and when he sings that song, he is fully that message he's portraying. Okay, so the
Yes.
issue here
Yes.
comes, sorry for monopolizing, but the
It's
issue
okay.
here comes from when we try to conceive and understand and make logic out of that polarization of that aspect of the personality that is just there to channel part of the collective consciousness and bring a point across. So when you try to rationalize it, it's like, no, wait a minute, you can't be playing with your friends all the time. You have to work.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
I'm not saying I don't work. I'm saying that right now, this is what I'm getting across. This is what I'm portraying. This is what I'm impersonating. This is my performance. This is my message to you. Okay?
And that's a very interesting point, because of our personalities there, sometimes to do more than one or two things, to portray several types of personality at once, is extremely difficult. Yes, one of the ways we do it is to be listening and take on board different energies coming to us, which case that's great. We've got a listening skill which can adapt to different levels. But when you're
Exactly.
portraying something, yes, we can have mixed emotions, mixed dialogue, the way we're coming over. But I understand it. It's a bit like the performer on stage. Before the
Yes.
stage,
Yes.
he is giving it 100% to be that performer. Everything else going on in his life, no one would ever know.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. That's right.
For that moment, right?
Yes.
So how can you get with the level of performance is a level of fantasy, it's a level of Dadaism, it's a level of abstraction and magic. It's the multi-dimensional level. So you can't understand that level from the 3D
Yes.
logical practical
Yeah.
level. And there's an interview where Larry King interviews Prince when Prince changed his name for the symbol.
Yes.
And so Prince, by changing his name for the symbol, is making a statement, actually talking about the companies that try to get all the rights on the songs he creates. So he changed the symbol, he changed the record company, and he changed his name to a symbol. So he was getting a point across that he doesn't belong to anybody. But then Larry King says, and what do they call you? And when somebody phones you gives you a ring on the phone, then how do they address you? Or how do you present yourself when you phone? And of course, that's a ridiculous question, because you cannot bring the performance down to the 3D
Yes.
logical
Yes.
coffee mind level. Okay, so how do you can jump to the abstract fantasy level where the performance occurs, and you can jump back into the practical level where you do things in life, and you can jump back and forth. But normally what happens, this is what Ted explains in the videos, you can access the fantasy level via two directions, either by like a crisis in life,
Yep.
where you just let go of the 3D and you start understanding life in a more abstract way, or via a conscious decision and a personal work on your own psychological and spiritual evolution. Okay, so I believe there's a lot. In Eric's case, he's a Sagittarius, Sun and Lilith in Sagittarius with Neptune and Mercury, and he had other Leo Moon in the 7th house and a Capricorn rising. So that Sagittarius energy, together with Lilith, with the Sun and with the Moon and Leo, he was like, whatever he did in life, he was 100% there.
Yes, he was.
Every time he did something, so when he was a personal trainer, he was 100% the personal trainer. When he was a friend, he was 100% the friend. When he was a gardener, he was 100% the gardener. Whatever he did in life, he did. Each aspect was a performance.
Yes.
Everything he did was a performance, which means that everything he did was for others.
Yes. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
to
I
convey
agree.
a
I
message
agree.
to
It totally
others.
was. Yes, totally was there. And just listening. And he was never a person, as you guys out there probably understand here, anybody that's gone through a crisis like this, when a person is going through something before they've come to the point when they're taking their life or anything like this here, that those people who are living it, like Eric, like other people there, they're living their life, but sometimes their emotions, their experiences can be very, very strong. Very, very strong. This is the link to the video, guys. If you want to copy and paste that at some point to go and watch that, as I say, it's subtitled there. Okay, good. Now, had a slight issue there earlier where the producer was saying that you were echoing, Guillemar. So I just want to ask you guys out there, this is Guillemar echoing? If she is, then we'll take you off and bring you back on again. Just to ask you guys out there, just to hope you can hear things nice and clearly. Okay, yes. So there comes a point. Now, interesting here is when I've worked with people and gone into past life regression, and even people who in a previous life took their life here, actually found, oh my goodness, I realized what I did in a previous life. I ended it. I chose to end it. And the emotional release and understanding people through past life regression and hypnosis, why they did this, and what was the emotional understanding. It was very interesting how people come across with this and the experiences they had, because they then looked back and said, I felt no shame. I felt no shame doing this. I felt no shame. And it's
Exactly.
interesting. I think this is so interesting. Your mind just opens up when you go through experiences like this with people. And to say here that my journey have finished on this particular life plane. And actually it was, if we think about the reincarnation of life and the journeys we go through it and what is written in life, the things we're setting up to choose, then often one of the things we do is, one of them could be that you're going to take your life earlier.
Exactly. And Eric had written his books. He had done what he had to do.
Yeah.
When I connected with his energy from the first instant that I heard about it, what I felt was good. I'd never felt anything wrong. I've normally when people pass, I feel it's a very liberating feeling. Very seldom do I feel something like, oh, this is it's stuck or whatever, no? And in Eric's case, it was a very liberating feeling. It's a very beautiful, heart-centered, radiating feeling that I feel when I connect with his energy. He's fine.
Yes.
He's fine. It's true. It's an emotional shock, and the emotional shock wave is just rippling and going up and down all over the people. But hey, this emotional shock wave and us getting to the grips of what happened, why he did it, why he did not do it, it is what's going to take us to a different level of understanding. He's contributing to our conscious sleep.
I was actually
Conscious sleep.
yes.
Leap.
Yes.
He's contributing to this. So it's very, very interesting.
Yes.
And
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
sorry, carry on.
Another thing is, for example, that I think is very frequent, very, very common that happens is like people are saying, oh, but like you were saying, I was with him the night before. We were having fun. He was chatting. He was lovely. He was lively. You were happy. Yes, it's true. So we tend to think from our 3D mind, and he goes, that means he was hiding from us how he was really feeling. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. And then I have other friends who were with him like that Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, every single day, people chatting with him. Like he was surrounded by love because he was a guy that gave love to everybody. So Eric is all about love.
Yes.
So and the thing is, nobody did anything wrong, and he wasn't lying to anybody. He was being totally honest to each person because he's a performer. He was not, and performing is the most brutal honesty that there is, because you are 100% each aspect of yourself.
Yes.
It just happens that one of those performances was this aspect of him that had this pain. We know his family history. I'm not going to go into it, but it's totally logic if you understand it. And he was just being 100% his family history that instant he took his life. But he was being 100% the friend. He was being 100% the trainer, 100% the guy who worked for charity. Everything he did was 100% and 100% honest and 100% full Eric. He was a 100% full and direct human being. He wasn't hiding things. He wasn't, it's not, the 3D mind says, oh my God, he was plotting it. No. He was 100% honest in every single aspect of his personality, which is something that very few people can say. And that is very spiritual and very elevated to be able to portray that in your own life. No, it's true that the risk is in identifying yourself with any one aspect of your personality. So if you go like, I'm only the party going person, I'm only the guy who stays at home, I'm only the whatever. No, you are absolutely all of that. So the beauty and the key is to just channel 100% who you are and what's going on in that moment.
This is an interesting thing, because moving away from this a little bit and going back into normal life and things that we choose to move away from, and our personalities, is say here, we become like the performer. You're performing a certain way, and you're performing with a band, perhaps, and then so far down the road there, you're thinking, I don't want the band no more. You're coming out of different personality, I'm going to go solo. So you choose to go solo. You changed your direction in your life. There is, as we call it here, the death of the old. To the old is not going to come back anymore. And loads of things we go through in our lives, well, we change them. And even people going through their lives now, maybe guys, for you out there, there's something that's changed in your life that you're not going to go back to. Yeah. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's you moved home, you're not going to go back to that area. Whether you changed your job, you're not going to go back to that job because of what it was like. Maybe there's something here that's transitioned from you, which I think is a huge thing in your life here. When we, whether we're talking about the end of life, which is a decision and a change, or you're changing something in your life, which is a decision and a change. Yeah. We all have these areas where we make choices. We just have to sometimes learn and respect to make choices. One of the things I experienced was reading for someone, reading for a lady, the mother of her son who took his life quite a few years ago, and she was continually blaming the girlfriend that he took his life because of her. And the moment I started the reading, he came through and actually said, no, it's nothing to do with that. He said, Mum, you got to understand, this was my choice. I wanted to do this because of other reasons, other factors that were going on in my life. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I'd done it. And she had a little while to understand and try to relate to this, to change her, as you say here, that logical, that coffee mindset, to go and put it into, this was his decision. But she couldn't accept that. She couldn't accept that he would do that. But it is difficult. It's very difficult. It's very
difficult, of course, because it's like it forces you to open your heart and to open your mind. Yes. It just totally breaks you wide open. Yes. But that's the beauty of it. So if you think about it, people who die, and especially people who take their lives, because it's more like mind blowing, or people who die in sudden accidents. It's so difficult to get through it that you have to jump to that fantasy level. You have to understand the level of performance. And you have to and you can learn from that how to live life from that level of performance. For example, I was thinking about how a few years ago, I was really into road cycling, and I would do like 9,000 plus or more kilometers a year, and I would compete and everything. And when I was a cyclist, I was 100% cyclist. But at the same time, I was doing other things. I was working in a pharmacy. I worked in a magazine afterwards. So I have other aspects of me. And I realized once that all those different aspects of me were separate. Like some people knew I was a cyclist. Other people knew I did things with associations and helped people with associations. Other people knew about my photography skills. I have different skills, but it was like, they were all fragmented. All these aspects of me were fragmented. Like if I couldn't own all of those parts of me. And I think the important thing here, and part of what Eric has taught me through his passing, is that we are all those fragments. We are all those aspects of ourselves, and we have to like really live each fragment fully when we portray it, and there's no need to hide that part of you with from anybody else, right? So it's like, I am this, but I'm also this and this and this and this. Sometimes it's like, okay, I can be I don't know, I'm a psychologist when I'm here, but hey, I'm also I love sports too, and I can bring that into here too. So it's like, why don't we mix? Why don't we live fully our lives like Eric did and be 100% each aspect, each emotion, each fragment of ourselves, and own that in a way that not possess it, not identify with one fragment, but actually embody all those different fragments openly. And this is like who I am. And I think many performers, like many drag queens and things like that, that's what they do. Everybody goes around like trying to understand, why is he dressing like a woman like that? And then, but she sings very well, but what's going on? And they try to get their monkey mind, their coffee mind around what that person is doing, you know. And it's not about that. It's about performing. It's about being 100% in one moment 100% of what you are, and then another moment another 100%, and then you are 500%. That's all of you. And I wanted to add, sorry Phil, with in this in on yes, what's it, Wednesday, the day before yesterday, when we received the news, I had just received, right before receiving the news of Eric's passing, I had received 2 good messages. So I was really happy, you know, I was really joyful. And I was preparing a session that I was about to have in like 3 minutes. And then suddenly a friend calls and tells me the news. And I'm like, so I have like this high from the 2 good news. Then I have like this focus for I have a session with a person. And then I have the shock from the Eric's news. And it's like, whoa, 3 things at the same time. And normally what we do is like, okay, no, I can't feel good about anything, so I have to shun my good news away and forget about it. I can't be positive I can't focus on this session because that's not the right thing to do. So I'm going to tell the person, sorry, we'll see you another day. And it's like, no, I'm going to do the 3 things at the same time. I'm going to embody my happiness, my sadness, my shock, my concentration, my professionality, all at the same time. Fuck you, Eric. Thank you.
I think it is. Yes.
That's what it's one of his phrases.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I remember him saying that. He does use the F word quite a lot there. Des brings up a very important point, and I am discussing this with people is very important, I think, to try to understand this. And Deb says, I take on what you say. Surely to take one's life, there is unbelievably emotional pain to take one's life. I agree with you. There is an emotion, because we do have to consider emotion. Emotion has to come into this to be a driver to go and do this. And often I think here what comes across here is that emotion they want to leave behind. They're feeling it. It's intense. It's strong. They feel that if they do this, that emotion, because there's a reason to leave this plane. And Eric would have gone through a particular type of emotion, as anybody else here who's experienced someone who's passed over like this. This emotion, and I think it's important to bring in emotion to this here, and I think that's the important part. And she also says here, which is interesting, my grandfather took his own life. My father suffered with bipolar all his life, and I have a diagnosis of clinical depression. I have fought not to take my life for 30 odd years. We will never know why, because there's something about your life force which is so damn strong, Debs, that keeps you here because you've got a purpose.
Exactly. And also, I think what's important is that you might have an aspect. It's not like 100% the person is suffering 100% of the time. No, it's not suffering 100%. It's suffering maybe is 10%. And then there's 10% joy, 10% I don't care, 10%. So there's lots of different emotions cohabiting the human being. Mm-hmm. And you are all of that. And Debs, depression. I've had 3 depressions, and I was very depressive as I'm not. I think. No? And because I could have gone that way very, very easily, the depression conditions. So I could have gone either as a depressive or something else. But the thing is, depression is when you don't understand the intensity of the emotions you feel, so you quiet them down,
Yes.
and you cannot let them go through you. You can't experience them. So the key here, I think, is to experience all the range of emotions, and there are no good or bad ones. So sometimes you might feel like an assassin, and you're not going to kill anybody, but you know what it feels like to be an assassin. I'm a Scorpio rising, okay, guys? So this is what Scorpio energy is like. All of the deep shit doesn't mean I've done it, but it's in the air, it's in the cellular memories. We've inherited stuff, right? So we have all these really intense, strange emotions in our body. And it is fine to feel them all, but feel them intensely and then let them go. You are not that, and you are the person who experiences all those different emotions. So I invite you, Debs, if possible, to let yourself experience a different range of emotions and know that you are none of that, but you are the body who experiences all of that, and the soul who has the gift to have that body.
And Debs, I'd also say here, if you're going to take that step there, to have people around you who totally understand what's going on, because you need a sounding board. You need a sounding board to reflect what you'll bring out and talking about here, and there's that need there. Yes, right, we've just gone past 11:30. We're going to change theme a little bit. This morning's show was about passing over, taking our lives here. We lost a very good friend, and for you guys as well to celebrate the life of someone who was here but chose to take their life, and sometimes try to understand why they did it. There is a decision of theirs, whether it's leaving behind a very difficult challenge in life, or it was just intense at that moment, with whatever segment or part of our personality that it is. But
exactly.
Yes.
And if you think about it, it's such an intense decision. It requires a lot of commitment and a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of focusing on, oh my God, what happened? What do you do? Let's focus on the incredible things, on the human being he was, and the soul he is, and feeling him, and then the commitment to everything he did and to everybody he knew. And it's like, whoa, it's like I value him even more now, in the sense that I think it's incredible what he did, even taking his life.
Yes.
For me, it's I don't know. I know I'm weird. I'm sorry. I'm a Scorpio rising. I'm a Pluto moon. Sorry, guys, but I think there's something beautiful in it. And I thought, even when I lived my dad's death, I thought it was beautiful too. So I kind of like have this biased thing that I don't see death as something horrible. Sorry if I offend anybody, but I hope if that inspires somebody.
I think there's 2 points to look at this. I think you've got your point of view, which is there's an inspirational life here, but there's the other side here, which is the care side here for the people who are left behind, who have this experience, that have to go through this. That's a different subject, which I would like to talk about at a different time. And because it's ourselves here, our connection to those people and the emotions we share with them, which are suddenly feel cut or tied, cut in some particular way here, and how we then got to re-experience a life with that particular. It's almost like here, for instance, you've got your house there with 3 chairs and a sofa, and then suddenly a chair's gone. All right, it's not known as near the same as value, but you'll notice the room is different. Your expression of the room is different. A person's gone there. But emotion is a very big thing, and to try to understand why people do these things here is to try to respect that they did have a decision, especially if you're working in mediumship or spirituality here, that I think that to be able to connect with that person who's passed, the reason why, I think is a beautiful, beautiful thing to try to acknowledge the answer. And often it's a decision which was theirs, just totally theirs. They wanted to do it, and sometimes it's something they just did. For some people, I do know, they experimented, they went too far, and it went wrong. I do know some, as we probably all know there, that emotion is a very, very big thing. And I think we can't just, although we can see this higher mind, there's also the existence emotionally within us all. Anyway, right, we are going to move on and start doing some readings for you guys. Okay, right. Good morning, Charlotte. Good morning to you. I hope you're well wherever you are. And yes, okay. So thank you very much for writing in. You gave us your birth details there, and I've also got your numerology here. Right, and your question here is: in general, are things going to change? Are things going to change? It's interesting with your numbers here because you're a 314. And your 4 here is a very strong 4. And often 4s in life here are like bases, roots, people who have, it's like the foundation of a house. But if a house is a 4 because it supports something. So for you to go and change your life and just say here, are things going to change? It's a big thing. It's a big thing for you to change your life. You get a flighty 3 or a bouncy 5 or someone like this here, and yeah, I could do change easy. For you to change, this is not an easy process. Breaking down your numbers, you're 314. The 3 here is the interesting one because that is the perception of your mind here to be able to look out and see change, to see it as an external thing. Think, oh, that's what I want. That's what I want. What you got to look at here is what process can you come inside yourself that says, I can do this. I can do this. I can bring change in my life. Because the two are very, in some ways, they're in contrast here. Looking at your year numbers here, it's interesting because you're a number 9, and this actually fits with what you're doing. So in general, are things going to change? Yes, you've got a 9 here. There's going to be old ways of going out and new ways of coming in. The area and time phrase we are in is going to heighten this feeling of change, but maybe it'll be difficult to get change right now. Maybe that's a little bit later. Maybe that's a little bit later in the year. But I think here to be careful that we don't think too much in our heads at this present time, but just feel this 3 energy, which has the ability to look outside and experience life in that way and be able to look at what you want and rethink about it. You've got to, your 1 energy's got to believe and feel that you would like to have a lot of change in your life here. In fact, there's a lady who's just joined me. I've got to take my glass off this, Charlotte, because she's coming through. There's a lady who's just joined for the Spirit World. Lovely, lovely lady. She loved her pepper. Oh my goodness, she's pouring pepper over everything. Salt and pepper. Oh my gosh, she was abundant with it. She loved it. She's laughing her head off because she wants to give me this. Oh my goodness. Anyway, as she's coming through here, she says here that she had a problem with her teeth, she's showing me here, because as she is talking, her teeth are moving around her gums. Like the teeth don't fit, but they're there's always like talking a bit like this. It's quite funny. But she wants to come through, Charlotte, and she's actually saying to you here, she says here, would you understand here that in order to find change here, it has to come through the heart. But would you understand you're trying to look through change through someone else in order for life to change? And maybe that's not the way. Maybe the way here to sit in yourself is saying, how do I change? Because that will affect everybody else. So this is the external bit we're looking at. Yes. And we've got to take this internal. Yes. Oh, Guillermo, you're nodding for once. That's brilliant. If I took the words out your mouth.
I always nod. So Charlotte is Sun in Scorpio with the Sun conjunct Uranus in Scorpio. Ooh. So Uranus is a planet of change. And when you get it conjunct to the Sun, this is like a change agent type person. But what happens is that people who are Sun Uranus want to change everything, and they have a lot of resistance for changing themselves. So Scorpio is all about going within. So what does Sun Uranus Scorpio say? Go within to change always, change from within. And then to that, we must add that, okay, you have a moon in Leo. So moon in Leo tends to not like fire moons don't like to look inside. They like to look outside, and they like to, and it's with Mars. So it's like all the time reacting and reacting to what people are, and they just want to see and be seen. No? So it's about, like I was saying, disconnect from the outside, go within, and then your Lilith is in Virgo and with Chiron. And once you go deep within, it's like, imagine if you have a fishing net, right? So right now your fishing net is all over the place, and there are people that are trapped by that fishing net. Sorry, but that's how it goes. You're a Sun in Scorpio, you know what I mean. So there's people trapped in that fishing net, right? So what the key now is to reel that fishing net in, leave the people behind, reel the fishing net in, And when you do that, you'll be able to connect with a thought or an idea or a perception of how things were that totally reframes and rewrites the past for you and the people around you. So the way you create change is to reframe the story, the history. So whatever story happened, whatever history you have to rewrite it. And the way to rewrite it is to reel in that fishing net, leave everybody behind, and just go deep inside yourself and see what happened from a different perspective.
Your cards are absolutely fascinating, Charlotte. Absolutely fascinating because, yes, I think it's a great way of explaining it. I'd also going to say here the one thing you're going to do, and I think it's Charlotte is sorry, Guillermo saying there. One of the things you're going to do, you've got the Hangman here, which is reversed. That's a very interesting card to have when it's reversed here because this is about you setting yourself free. And as soon as you set yourself free, so you start to work, detach from all the, as you say, the other people from the net, leave them out there, and work on yourself here. You then find empowerment within yourself with the Empress. And the Empress is a very strong feminine card here. In fact, this lady who's here, she's just so happy to come through. Very engaging. She had collections. I know women do this, but she just wants to show me here. She loved her handbags, but she kept losing them. She tells me here. She kept putting them down somewhere. Oh dear God, this is really a nightmare. And she's also saying to me too that she's right. She's giving me associations to people as well. She wants to show me about a man and two sons, a man and two sons. And I wanted to talk about someone called Jim. Jim, she just said the name Jim, and she also says here, very close little family, but they're laughing. And there's a gentleman here who is like puffed like a train here, and he passed over just through smoking. Smoking alone here. I think he was just happy being a pipe. Happy existence of a pipe. He's here too. They wanted to come through to say to you here, this is interesting, where I think your life is going now in front of you, because I think you're going to find enormous empowerment just by listening to you. So it starts from within, Charlotte. Hopefully you understand that. And if you've got any questions there as well, please fire them in. We're happy to respond to them there. Okay, good. Now, just talking here, this Lionsgate energy that we're going through at a particular time here, because it's my granddad's nan, lovely, you'd understand about all this pepper. I got pepper of she was just forgetful as they come, but she just said me here, this Lionsgate energy, this energy going through now, because this is creating change, and yet we've got so much astrology out there. It says, no, you're not changing. No, things are contained, very restricted. They're not moving on here. Yes, so that's interesting how we've got these polarities at the moment, isn't it? I mean, it'd be great if a lot of air, a lot of fire, and everything, the energy was flowing. This would be a magical time of, whoa, we're on a roller coaster. But the minute
right now it's a time for changing, and things will start moving more in the autumn. But right now is a time to refocus, to change your focus.
Yes,
change Mars squaring Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn. It's Mars Lilith squaring them.
Now
so it's changing focus, and Lilith with Mars is freedom. Lilith with Jupiter is integration by shock. Lilith with Saturn is letting go of old ideas of what success is. And Lilith with Pluto is all about releasing cellular memories.
Very interesting, isn't it? And I think what Mars wants is new order. Get things in order. A new order. It's not the same as the past. Not the same as the past here. Okay, right. Charlotte says, great guidance. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Lovely to talk to you there. Right, let's pop down the road. I say pop down the road. It's a different country, but say pop down the road. Guess go and say hello to Lucy. Lucy. You wrote in here, and thank you very, very much for your question there. You come in here and you say, general direction my life is going in. Very similar question to the last one, but this is general direction my life is going in. You're a 279, you've gone for the colour pink. And I'm just waiting, just ambling and just floating around here, waiting for the spirit world here to come and connect. And as I do here, I would just like to, I've got a lady and a gentleman both want to come in. The gentleman here is dropping a lady off. You know, like you get you get your friend round who's got a friend with them, and they drop them off at your house, and then the friend goes on. This gentleman here knows you. He just says, "I've just brought this lady in, just dropped her off." Now, would you understand? This is interesting here because this lady who wants to come and talk to me. She says she loves coming to talk to you. She absolutely adores it, Lucy. She really wants to just keep on talking to you. She loves the energy to be able to get across to you and just help you here. And she first, what she says is she does this. She just says calmness, calmness. Just bringing calmness here. The other energy I pick up here is she says here, would you understand here that you got to be careful that we're not emotionally munching, eating our emotions, eating too much. Like for instance, the diet isn't right because she's just shown me here. You're looking at food and thinking, oh goodness, resenting it but liking it in some respects like that. And she also wants to come through because she's very connected on your mother's side of your family here, very connected on mother's side. And she also wants to show me here. She said, "I want to bring this." She gives me sherbet. Sherbet. She's just given me now. Sherbet here to me is like to try and sweeten you up. I think it's trying to sweeten you up to make you feel like, hey, come on, lift up a little bit here. And would you understand here? This is interesting because on your own, would you understand here, Charlotte, that Lucy, would you understand here that you are able to manage things and do things quite easy? What you're pulled down by is other people around you who are going through a completely different process. When you're mixed with other people around you. Would you understand it emotionally? Sometimes you're thinking, well, I know what I'm thinking. Actually, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. But then other people's emotions hit you. And it's interesting you've gone for colour pink, because pink is quite an attractive colour for emotions. And sometimes people want to throw everything at you, and it's sticking on this pink. You're thinking, oh, perhaps I've got it wrong. Perhaps I should be super stressed. I should be super angry. I should be crying my eyes out. When really, I'm either thinking, I've just got to take things sort of bit by bit, slowly by slowly, and work around you in this way. Your energies here are 279. So in your life here, your process here is, as you've gone through already, is that you were going to let go of things in order for new order to come in, for new life to come in. You're one of those people here who could probably adapt very, very well. In fact, even the cardinal energy around you here, I'd say, would be absolutely amazing. And yes, you're the problem solver. Yes, I really feel others' emotions and drama. I'm the problem solver. The problem solver, yes. Other people's feeling emotions and drama, it's sticking to this pink. So you've got to be careful that you're not taking this on. You're the problem solver, but then you're dumped with, oh crap, I've got all these emotions here, and what are they? Am I supposed to be feeling this or feeling that? Be very, very, very aware. You need to be yourself, because this is good. But this lovely lady has talked to me here. She says here, you're going to be absolutely fine. She's looking at September for you because she wants to say here a little bit of a nicer time for you. And she also wants to say here that she just feels your energy is going to start lifting. And she's also, there's a few other things in store for you. But she just says here, cross that bridge when we get to there. It's not a bad thing. It's a nice thing. It's how you're going to be approaching life around you. But no, I think nice things there. She's shown me you're thinking about a key. You're thinking about a key. So it's a key to a house or a car. But she just says you're thinking about this. No action yet, but money towards the autumn, I think, will be a lot stronger around you. And I think it's interesting here. You'll look back on this energy that you've gone through and just understand here. It was just energy. It was just time. People were responding to a heavy energy, like walking through oil or treacle, thinking, why can't we run? Why can't we dance and play? Why can't it be like this? We can't do that the way we'd like to. But that's how it is at the minute. Lucy, I'd like to travel down the road. Let's go and have a word with. Let's go and have a word here. And yes, it'd be great to chat with you there, Guillermo. How's it coming across for you from an astrology chart?
Hi, Lucy. Lucy has a north node conjunct the moon in Taurus. The need to go solo and do it on your own. It is fundamental because it's south node in Scorpio. It's like past lives enmeshed in other people's dramas and stories and codependency. And it's like, cut the crap. That's old. That's not for you anymore, right? You're good at it, but now the important thing is that you go solo and you have patience when you do things. Also, it's a peculiar chart because there's a lot of stuff that is separate from each other, right? So there's the moon north node on one side, they're not connected to anything else. Then we have a Saturn in Scorpio that is also not connected to anything else. Then we have Pluto, Neptune, who are connected to themselves and nothing else. And then we have the Sun, Mercury connected to Venus and nothing else. So also your Sun is in Libra conjunct Mercury. So it's about like, it's like if you have like 4 different personalities inside you, right? So the thing is, what happens with Libra tends to have these 2 personalities quarreling inside their head all the time. In your case, it seems like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah.
That sounds
So
interesting.
yeah. So the thing is, it's if we don't acknowledge that and we don't come to terms with those aspects of ourselves, basically those aspects of ourselves are like parts of our, as we mature in life, we might get stuck in different areas. And we might adopt, remember we were talking before about the performance. So if we suddenly invest like 100% of an emotion, a part of our personality in one area, and that doesn't come out like we want it to, that might crystallize there. So I think the key here is to recover, to connect again with those aspects of you that were crystallized in different stages of your development and make them come together. It's like you can even do it with dolls, like these Bratz dolls or Barbie dolls or whatever, and then you have like 4 different dolls and they have a conversation between them and they say, look, I'm hurt because when I was 5 years old, my dad left and it really hurts me. Or, and I was expecting for him to come back. So the part of me that relates to joy closed up that moment, for example. And then another part of you got hurt when your first boyfriend went out with your best friend. And that was like, oh my God, he cheated me. I thought he was in love with me and I was in love with him. And so that part of you closed their heart. Well, I'm not going to trust another man again. And, we have all these different moments in our lives that crystallize parts of us. So I think it's interesting for you to come to terms, to have all these aspects of you talk to each other, to comfort each other. It's like your 5-year-old talk with your 13-year-old, with your 20-year-old, and so forth, to be able to realize, because if we don't do this, what we're going to do is we're going to project aspects of ourselves outside, and then we're going to engage with the outside, trying not to have the same experience as before.
Yeah.
So, and that's getting you enmeshed and stuck in drama and listening to people, and your energy, the pink, gets blobby. So it's all about that. So come to terms with those aspects of you.
Yeah. I think so too. I think Lucy, because I think you got terrific energy. When I pick up your energy and read for you, I think, oh yeah, this is great. Oh, Lucy's energy is fantastic. We need a lot more Lucys in life, and because I think you've got such a warm personality there with different. As you're laughing here, haha, yes, that's my few personalities. I think it's very, very warming indeed. Right, okay, and I think it is that adaptability you've got there, especially for instance in your job, that you can have that persona about you that says that you're happy, you're in your work, they're happy, even though in the background something else isn't happy, but you're able to portray that and use that and bring that across there. In fact, if I'm looking at your cards here, let's have a look here, and just direction your life is going in and where you're going, I would say here that actually this is interesting. For all that you fear will just move on, it just disappear. It's almost like thinking, have you seen that dark cloud? Well, I did, but it's gone. It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. I mean, it's like, well, it was there a moment ago, but well, I saw it there. It was there. But yes, no, it's gone, blown away. And I think sometimes we can look at our lives here, is how we see that particular part of our life here. And the way you're going through life at the moment is thinking, I want this, but I'm scared of this. Well, it's only a cloud. It's going to disappear because your 2 power cards here, you got the Emperor and the Star. Oh, my goodness. If you're looking here, general direction my life is going in, keep going. Keep going because you're rocking. You're doing it. You're doing just fine. There's no need to go and change your life and thinking, I've got to immediately change it over this way. No, those changes are coming to you very naturally. As I pick up here, your mother was saying here, coming through the spirit world, she was actually saying there's some bridges for you to cross, and it's bridges over water. So that thing here, troubled water, crossing over. I'm trying to remember the word there, the phrase. Yes, women say about troubled waters, crossing a
Yeah.
bridge over troubled water.
Bridge over troubled
A bridge
waters.
over troubled waters, yes, and it's that energy goes. Whenever you're thinking of it, you've got a bridge to go across it. Oh yeah, there's those troubles down there, but you're on safe ground. You're crossing on a bridge. You're not having to go through it. You're above it. You're above it all. But you will be a very secure woman very soon. You're going to feel very in yourself, and I think that's the amazing power you're going through, which is going to help you. At the moment,
And yeah, and Lucy, if you haven't seen the beginning of the show, I invite you to check it out later because we talked about the performance and being 100% each different personality that we all have in different ways. So I invite you to check that out and to understand that it's fine to be totally different at different aspects, and all of that is you, and to unite that in your body because you might have different aspects of you in different moments, but they all share one body, which is you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think here there's this, and that's the loveliness about you, Lucy. And I'm not saying that just to be flattering. I'm saying it's the loveliness about you. You've got these different types of personalities that other people probably don't quite understand, but you can adapt to whichever toolbox you wish to open in your consciousness, in your spirit, and
Yeah.
say, this is this is the part I need to portray at the moment, but it is me.
And this is why you attracted to your life those people who hurt you when you were different ages, so you could develop those different aspects of your personality. It's just a question of bringing them consciously together and knowing that you can choose to be one or the other, portraying one or the other whenever you want. And you are not any of that. You are simply the channel of whatever message has to go via each moment, via one personality or the other, and that's it.
Your kindness kills pain. That's what I'd like to say to you. Your kindness kills pain. And I think here, Lucy, your adaptation to life there, how you can build this, I think is beautiful. And I also get a feeling here too, I'm not hanging around on your reading here, I just get a feeling here too that the experiences you've gone through, your wisdom will really help you to be able to relate to people and they don't hurt you because you'll just very gently, very kindly push negativity away. Okay, good. Right. Okay, how are we doing? Right. Deborah, she's gone for the colour orange. She says here, feeling very unsettled with the energies at the moment. And she's a 10-1. The one here, the 10, interesting here with karmic 10s. 10s here have the 0. Anybody has a 0 in their chart, like they're a 20, a 10 or a 30, the 0 is quite important because it's something you want to go and put into your life, but you do it when you're in it. When you're in it. Yes, you do it when you're in it. You find something. That's the bit I want to put in my life here. That's the karma you want to go and fulfill. Maybe it's something of a past life you want to bring back as well and actually adapt it into this. Not being consciously aware of it, but something that you actually feel, thinking, I want to bring this in. I want to bring this into my life here. But it's just there. Good. Lucy, thank you both so much. That's really helped. Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Right, okay. So that's what I like to say here is, and this one energy, your path at the moment is a 6. So the 6 here is finding the balance around business, home and family and containing things a little bit. Contain things a little bit. Is that containing, but actually put flowers around it. That's what I like to say. Contain it and put flowers around it. So it makes it look pretty. Yes.
Yeah, but also keep in mind one thing that it's not personal, whatever's happening here, because Deborah has a lot of, like, the moon is an aspect to Lilith and Jupiter, Sun, Saturn, Mercury. So you're picking up Chiron, Uranus. You're picking up a lot of the collective. So it's just the energy that's going on. It's like a very, come on guys, change your mindset. Look the other direction. Stop looking at the past. It's like really shaking us up to do that change. Hey, come on, wake up.
Yeah.
It's that kind of energy that's going on. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I was just sleeping in the siesta or just reading this old book. And it's like, no. Come on, get up. Do your stuff, right? And it's not do stuff in the sense that go do your life mission, but it's like get going with what has to happen with you, where you have to focus, right? So for example, for Aries, it's like, hey, start focusing on your profession. For Taurus, it's come on, start focusing on what's really true for you. What are your values? For Gemini, it's start focusing on opening doors and not being suspicious about people. For Cancer, it's hey, stop being codependent and be you and hold your own emotions and stop dumping your emotions on other people. Make yourself responsible of your emotions. For Leo, it's all about stop doing things to be recognized and start
Yes.
doing things to serve others. For
Yes.
Virgo, it's all about stop looking at the past and getting frustrated and get your act together and, get out there. For Libra, it's about stop being a nice person and, just get dirty with it. Just get
That's
your inner
interesting
guy.
there. That's interesting because you've got the moon in Libra. Moon in Libra here. So as much as we say the sun sign, the moon sign there as well, I get a feeling here is to say, right, get strong. Get strong.
Yeah,
Get focusing here.
get dirty, just stop being nice, just say what you want, what you need, because you also need to Libra sun, moon or rising, it's the same for me. This internal dialogue between different aspects of yourself, if that continues and you're just like trying to quiet them down to listen to others, then you're just going to project that on the outside and you're going to get the fight on the outside, and you want to quiet that down too, and then you're going to just be invisible. No, it's not about that. It's about have the fight. Talk to your inner, to whoever those voices inside you. This doesn't sound like this is normal, guys. This is like in the movies they said, oh, you can't have different aspects of your face. Yes, you can. We all do. Okay, it's normal. So those different aspects of you, stop arguing between them, start dialoguing between them, and start having the argument outside with the people around you. Okay.
Yeah.
For Scorpio, it's about learning to communicate and with the people around you, and also not to close doors, similar to Gemini. Don't be suspicious of others. For Sagittarius, it's about understanding your gifts and bringing them down to your body and connecting with your body to really embody those spiritual gifts that you have as a Sag. For Capricorn, it's a huge change in identity. So it's really stop concentrating on others and start concentrating on you and communicating who you really are and opening up your communication to the world. For Aquarius, it's about clearing the closet, clearing the basement, clearing stuff out, get all the junk out, release, let go, stop feeling guilty, stop looking at the past, just be you and clear yourself out because next year it's your turn to have a big change. And for Pisces, it's all about really getting yourself out there with people. Oh, how beautiful. It's getting yourself out there with people and just go for your goals and stop looking at your belly button, and waiting for others to come for you.
We've got to move on a little bit because time's running out. Time's running out here. But no, there was a fantastic run around the forecast there, around the star signs, about this energy that we're going through at this present time and how we can move on from this here. Interesting here. One thing that very quickly, Eleni comes in. She says, I'm a Libra. In fact, I'll just bring this in very quickly because there's something I'd like to add to this. Just one little quick sentence. I'm a Libra. I tried to get dirty, but that person just looked at me and said I was being difficult. No, they're trying to condition you.
Yeah, so you just go, so what?
So what?
What if I'm...
Yes, if you don't like it, go lump it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What a great way to end the show. Be yourselves, people. If people don't like it, but you're being your natural self, tough. You're just frozen there for a minute, Guillermo. You're just frozen back.
And we don't have to be the same person, and we don't have to be the same person all the time. Yeah. So we can be really nice one moment, and then really nasty the other moment, and it's fine. It's just different aspects of your personality. Embody it, be it, and convey the message.
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, thank you very, very much for joining us this morning. Very, very interesting, in a sense, controversial in some respects, of looking at the way that where suicide and passing over is concerned, and also the emotional side, the impact emotionally that is going on in people, the people left behind. And be interested to get your feedback, guys, as you go through the week. Maybe this show has provoked some thoughts and feelings there. And we're both in a field of work where we deal with a lot of this, in psychotherapy and also hypnosis and coaching, and also your side there in psychology there. So yes. Very, very interesting there. And thank you, guys. Lucy says, thank you. Lucy, I nearly lost my teeth then. Click. Yeah. To everybody, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's been a lovely morning. Have a wonderful day with whatever you're doing. And Guillermo, once again, thank you very much for a lovely, lovely show. And yes, see you guys very soon.
Yeah.
And Charlotte says, great show too.
Bill, thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everybody who's there. And thank you, and fuck you, Eric.
Yes, and thank you to the producer. Thank you to Deborah, and thank you to you, Gemma, and all you guys out there who joined the show today. And lovely to see you. See you soon. What's the date out? So I'm going to see you guys on Sunday evening. Sunday evening at 7 p.m. EU, 6 p.m. UK. And yes, maybe a little chat during the week as well. But in the meantime, take care. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Burger,
Bye.
heart, burger, heart, burger. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. Take care, guys. Take care.